Close your eyes and for a moment imagine yourself as a child. I will speak and you test your ability to empathize. Think. You return to a house where no one is there to greet you. You are very hungry and you prepare food for yourself. If a problem arises, you find the solution on your own. Because in your time, asking for help is considered weakness. On top of that, you are living in a period where the rules change at any moment and nothing is stable. Let's be honest. What kind of person would you become with such a childhood? What I'm about to tell you is not just a story. It is a journey into the past of millions of people. They are the Generation X, born between 1965 and 1980. We constantly talk about people. We criticize the boomers. We analyze the millennials. We treat Generation Z as if they are from another planet. But there is a generation we overlook, as if it does not exist. It is unseen. It does not trend on social media. Yet in reality, they are the closest to us. Maybe our colleague, maybe the parent we constantly blame, the one who seems emotionally distant but always gives us a sense of security. They built the internet, yet benefit from it very little, and I believe their psychology is the most misunderstood compared to other generations. Let's look through their eyes. What did these people experience and what did it turn them into? Now I will tell you a story. The year is 1978, America. A 7 to 8-year-old child comes home from school. He opens the door with the key from his backpack. The house is empty. Mother and father are at work. Both are forced to work because it is an economically difficult time. The child puts his bag down, opens the refrigerator and takes something, makes himself a sandwich, sits at the table and does his homework, and waits, simply waits. Now I want you to put yourself in that child's place. What do you think would change in your life? I am looking forward to your thoughts. This is not just this child's story. By 1984, nearly 7 million children in America were left unsupervised every day. They were called latchkey kids. This situation taught them that every action has a consequence, and that they would see the result immediately. According to psychologists, this is a high contingency environment. That is, there is no time gap between your behavior and its consequence. When parents came home, they were not interested in your emotional world or psychology. Simply, if you made a mistake, you would see the result. At that moment, there was no softness. So what did these experiences teach them? The answer is simple. Always think 1 or 2 steps ahead, foresee risks in advance, and never feel fully secure about anything. Often younger generations consider them pessimistic, but for them, this is reality. Why do you think Generation X never fully trusts anything? Because they were constantly told, study well, work hard, follow the rules, everything will be fine. If you marry someone, you will be together for life. If you get a job, your life is secured and you will always continue with that job. But what happened then? Families fell apart. Divorce rates sharply increased during the 1970s to 1980s. The concept of permanent relationships and love collapsed for them. Their parents were suddenly laid off from companies they had worked at for years due to waves of downsizing. The word loyalty lost its meaning for them. Imagine, you are 11 years old. Your father comes home in the evening and says, disappointedly, "They fired me." From a place he had worked for 25 years, with no reason, just economic crisis. From these events, they concluded that nothing is permanent and everything can fall apart. Psychologists call this defensive pessimism. But for Generation X, it is a survival strategy. They are not depressed. They have emotionally put themselves into protection mode. They hope for good things, but inside there is always insecurity. Now, Generation X is a parent itself, and it faces a very interesting paradox. Although they grew up unsupervised, they now raise their children in the complete opposite way. Constant supervision, constant attention, constant support. They give their children the attention they themselves never received, yet inside there is always a question: did we make them too dependent? Because in Generation X's worldview, there is one lesson: life is tough, be independent. But at the same time, they do not want their children to go through the same difficult path they did. Socially, Generation X is very quiet on social media, because they grew up in a world where privacy was safe. Even if you made a mistake, at most, one or two people knew. Lessons were learned and then life went on. There were no viral posts, no screenshots, no archives. Someone could show you years later. Now everything is recorded. Everyone sees everything. One mistake is engraved into the permanent archive of the internet. Generation X sees this as a danger. They do not want to display their lives to thousands of people. For them, this is a serious risk. This does not come from being old-fashioned. It is simply an instinct learned early in life. Speak less, share less, risk less. Another interesting trait of Generation X is irony and humor. They use irony like armor. They joke and keep distance. They grew up during the Cold War, participating in duck and cover drills at school. A 7-year-old child understood that a desk would not protect them from a nuclear bomb. When you grow up in such an environment, keeping emotional distance becomes your defense mechanism. You choose to feel deeply, but not show it. Generation X developed a very strong work ethic from childhood, delivering newspapers at 5 a.m. at age 10, bagging groceries at 13, taking care of a neighbor's yard at 14. This was their normal life. If your bicycle broke, you fixed it yourself. If you needed to research something, there was no internet. You went to the library, found a book, read, learned, did. They showed loyalty to their own skills. You can't prevent being laid off, but you can become the most essential person in the room. They are independent and strong team players. They do not ask for help. But if someone needs help, they immediately come. The oil crisis, the dot-com crisis, the 2008 financial crisis. Because of these events, they never felt fully secure. There is always a backup plan. Generation X valued information because it was difficult to obtain. Knowledge that passes through effort is more valuable. They grew up without the internet, but they built the internet. They are the bridge between the previous era and today's world. They simply carry the load. They simply do the work, quietly, reliably. If you have someone from Generation X around you, pause for a moment. We have a lot to learn from them.